Oh yeah, okay, so here we are back into Unity, and we're going to carry on from where we left off. You can see, here we are. This is where we left off. And in this lecture, we're going to place some more lights, some stage lights, and some prop lights, if you like, because it's looking a bit flat. And then we're going to look at the post-processing effects to really bring it up to scratch. And hopefully by that point, we'll have our rendering sort of finalized pretty much, and the scene pretty much done. So let's start with some prop lights first. Now, prop lights are just lights that, you know, enhance a particular feature, and there's some prop lights that you need. For example, these barrel ones, I've put a light in. So if we go to here, I've got these barrel lights. All they are is point lights. You know, to create a point light, just go to Game Object, Lights, Create, Point Light. There you go, Create Point Light. Just click on that and it will appear in your scene. Place it above your barrel and turn it on. Boom, there's one. And on this light, you won't have this now, but I'll include it in the scene. I've got a script which makes it flicker, which makes the light flicker. And you'll see that working in a minute. Okay, so the other light on the other barrel is in here as well. As soon as you put these lights on, it kind of changes the blink, makes it pop, really changes the look of the scene. Let's just have a look at that as we walk up to it. Yeah, that just changes it so dramatically, really brings it alive. Put some warmth into the scene, some really nice contrast, which is exactly what we need. Yeah, that's perfect. And you can see them subtly flickering there. Let's just maximize this. Stop that. Maximize on play. Let's do that again. There you go, that's better. Full screen. So you get a better view of it. Yeah, that's really cool. And that just looks really nice. In this first barrel here, I made the embers slightly bigger, but I was a bit undecided. They looked a bit small in that one, but now I'm not so sure. So anyway, it doesn't really matter. I've left them both there. So there we are. We've got two lights. Lighting up the barrel fire, which is quite cool. So if I quit out of that now. The other sort of prop lights are like lights that you want, what you shouldn't be afraid of is to include lights that sort of enhance the environment. Even though there's no sort of direct source of light, I know some people don't like doing this, but they do it in the movies all the time. It's called prop lights, and they put lights places where they want to really enhance a feature. And I've got a couple in here just to show you. It's like this area here was quite dark, and looking up into the forest, I wanted to sort of lighten it up a bit. So if you put one of these in here, it just kind of brings it to life a little bit. Just makes it pop a little bit. So when you're looking into the forest, you get to see this. You get to see the grass, and it kind of looks natural, without sort of being too obvious as to a light being present. But with these lights, you need to make sure that you turn no shadows. Make sure, because you don't want this like casting a shadow of the objects when there's actually no light source there, if you know what I mean. So they're just ambient light really that sort of bring up a feature that make it sort of pop out of the scene a little bit more. I've got another one over here on the steps, but I'm not sure if I need it now that these are there. So if I highlight the steps, yeah, so I put one here just to make these lights. I can think I'm going to move it, actually just move it over there a little bit. And I've put a bit of warmth in these lights because there's a lot of blue. Yeah, that kind of works actually. I like that. And you can see, yeah, it's okay. It just brings it alive a little bit. Let's just have a look what they look like if we play the game. There we go. So you can really see the steps now quite clearly, but it's not obvious that I've put a light there. And the same goes with this bit of forest up here. If we walk through that now, yeah, it just brings the grass, the top of that grass, you know, just makes it sing, makes it little sort of pop out a little bit, and that's really nice. Just adds a bit of colour, adds a bit of light to an otherwise dark and murky sort of forest, and that's really nice. So okay, so what other ones did I put to stop that? I put one on the inside of the hut here. Firelight, that's it. So I put that on in just to give you the impression that there's something inside. You know, you want to know, you want to sort of think that there's somebody at home. And even though there's nothing inside, we haven't done anything. If the fire was lit in there, if you had a big roaring fire inside the hut, then it might kind of look a bit like that, basically. And that's what I was trying to do with the shadows cast on the ceiling. Yeah, so that looks really cool. And the other one I did was a sort of porch light. Now, if you do the porch light, you really need to put an excuse for the light being there, otherwise it's going to look a bit odd. So here's my porch light, turn it on. That's a bit, now I've seen it, it's a bit strong. I can turn the intensity of that down a little bit, take it down to 3. Now I have got a, well, let me see if I've got it in here, my meshes folder. I did make a lamp, high poly, unless I put it in props. Props? Yeah, here, look, I've made a lamp. Doesn't look like it's got a texture on it though. Material, let me see. There it is. Lamp metal, let's have a look at that. Boink. Okay. I did have some glass as well, unless it's the same. No. Lamp metal, lamp glass. Here we go. There you go. Okay, so there's no fire in it. You could put like a little flame in there, but you get the idea. And if you hang this up here like this, you know, so it looks like there's a light coming from there. That would work very well. Now let's just see what that looks like. Yeah, see now, that looks like it's lived in. It looks very cozy, and it looks like somebody home, and perhaps it's not someone you want to sort of visit. I don't know. And we're going to cover that in the next section. I'm going to ask you to do some things to it from the end of the course. It's up to you. So I'll explain what I mean by that when I finish. So there's our lights pretty much, and that lamp needs a light source in it. It needs like a candle or something in there. Probably a bit of animation so it swings or something, and obviously it needs attaching to the roof correctly. If you want to see how I built that, because you know the glass is quite tricky, but if you go onto my YouTube channel, you can see me painting that up and how I built it from scratch. So go and do that. And that's cool. Yeah, so like a little hook in the roof there, and sort of just attach it to the hook and make it look a lot more convincing. Maybe we'll put a little animation on it later in another section after this main course, and start putting in some animation. But like I said, we'll talk about that. This blue light gives the impression it's kind of got a bit of snow on the ground, which is kind of odd, but that's just the colour of the directional light. You know, when you're looking at it like that, it looks really cool. So okay, so that's spotlights. I'm not going to add any more. If you want to add more lights than that, then you're quite welcome to do so. Fairly straightforward to do. Okay, before we do a post-processing, let's turn on our particles, because post-processing will have quite an impact on the particles. It will make it glow and what have you. So let's just make sure, let's go and check out our particles here because we turned them off. So let's just turn them back on now. Turn that one on and turn that one on. There we go, that gives it quite an eerie feeling. Well, I think what I might do is just take them down because they're quite bright. I didn't want them to be that bright really. And I might put another one in here, just in this area. Works really well. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Let's just take that down a bit. Okay, so turn that off. Let's see if I can find the first one, particle, this one. Okay, so there we go. Yep, okay, let's change this one. So let's just take it down because it's quite... Just take the alpha down. Okay, let's put that back up. You could even give it some colour if you wanted to. Some warm colour perhaps. No, let's make it. That's quite creepy. You can do some. I mean, you can do a lot of creepy stuff. I mean, that just looks weird. Looks ethereal. Looks like you're in some sort of fantasy world. We won't be doing that. So let's bring it down. Let's make it neutral. There we go. Let's take the alpha down. Let's just move it down in the scene a little bit more. Yeah, that's better. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, that's much better. That's just subtle now. It's not too in your face, but it is there, and you can sort of see it when you walk through the environment. Look back, and it's there, rolling by. Okay, now we'll do this one over here. Same thing, because that's intense. Okay, so that was that one. So let's go to this one. Boom. Okay. Let's make the colour. Just take the colour, change the colour where you want it. Let's just take the alpha down. And the reason why it was so bright before is because it looked good for the daytime, basically, but not so good at night. In fact, what I might do, let's just bring this right back here, so it covers this area. Let's duplicate it, so you've got double the amount, and then just move this one over here. So we've got two. There we go. Let's take a look, see what that looks like. File. Don't forget to always save, play. Yeah, if you imagine some really creepy music, you know, it could be really cool. I mean, if you want to stick with the daytime scene, that's fine too. You don't have to do a nighttime scene. I just thought it would be really nice to do a nighttime scene, so it's entirely up to you, and you know, whatever you choose, I'd like to see it. So this needs a tree, needs some more trees in here to break that light up, to break that path up. Yeah, okay, so that's that done. Right, now we're going to do the post-processing like we said we were going to do. So let's start doing that. So we go in here, we go to post-processing, we click on the nighttime one, and we start here. Now you know what fog is. Fog, then we've excluded the skybox, which is what we need. Let's just get a good view here so we can see it. There we go. Alright, so You know what fog is? Fog's done. Anti-aliasing, we definitely want that. You know, if you noticed, it will reduce the shimmering on that. See the harshness on the window here. Can you see that as you move around? Lots of weird shimmering noises, weird shimmering pixels on that light, on that window. We'll switch this on, and it softens it right out and sort of reduces it, and reduces all of those sharp edges, you know, where the light sort of meets the dark, basically. So it softens it right out, which is cool. So that definitely needs to be on. Ambient occlusion. Okay, this is the big one. This is one that should make quite a big difference. If we turn it on, boom, what this does, well, I think I've explained what this does. It kind of, basically, it occludes ambience. So where an object touches the surface of another object, there's no light because the light can't get in there. So what this does, it puts a dark shadow in that space and then bleeds out from the corners of the object that's touching the surface. So you get this kind of like shadowy effect. And how strong you have this, or how, you know, how dark or whatever, is entirely up to you. Now you can really increase the intensity, and you can see the shadowing down here, or you can bring it down. It's a good way to build shadows into your detail models, detail meshes, and you can see it instantly gives it depth. So if I turn it off, you know, it's kind of like a bit flat. If you turn it on, it sort of pulls it right in, and it's really nice. I really like ambient occlusion. And then put sample count high. You can increase the radius if you want 0.5 or 4, 3, 4, 4 maybe. Let's just walk up through and have a look what that looks like. Yeah, you can see just by looking on the ground the shadows in amongst the plants. That's what ambient occlusion does. Gives it some really nice depth. Around the rocks, when the rocks hit the ground, where the rocks sit on the ground, it's got this dark shadowing around that. Yeah, I quite like that. That looks good. It's a lot better, a lot nicer. Yeah, that window's now a lot better as well. Okay, so let's move on. Screens, the ambient occlusion. Screen space reflection. Really not much good to us because we've not got much in the way of glass or any sort of reflections, any water, anything like that. And that's what this is for, really. I've got some glass here, but I don't think it's going to have any impact on that at all. No. No. Okay, so that we can't really use that. If we had a big water and things like that, it would be useful, but it's not really useful in the context of what we're trying to do here. Okay, so next one is depth of field. Now this is a sort of one that can have a big impact as well.